Good morning, guys. Today I'm going to show you how to remember the sections of a company law, or rather show you how am I remembering the sections so that you can help yourself. So firstly, why are we required to remember the sections? Because it is going to help us get more marks, as simple as that. Now, what happens to the person who corrects the paper when he sees that you are quoting almost all the sections for every question? Oh, he's going to be impressed, right? He'll think that you know almost everything about there is to know in the book. So that is going to give you some extra marks, and them exams like our professional exam, every single mark is going to count. It can mean the difference between we clearing the whole group or we are writing all the exams all over again. So with that aside, I'm going to show you how do I remember so that you can also remember it. So firstly, I have given a list of sections that are covered in our book in executive level. So I'll attach the document down below so that you can get it yourself. So how am I remembering? It's a long list, as you can see, and it is not advisable to memorize all the numbers. If we start memorizing that, I'm sure we will be confused. So what am I doing? So I'll remember something called anchor points, sections that are so conspicuous that everybody knows, or sections that are very easy to remember because it's a fancy number, and I'm going to build from there. What do I mean by that? Let me give you an example. Here, look at the section 123. 123, it's a fancy number, right? So what is 123? Declaration of dividend. I'm going to remember that. So when I remember declaration of dividend, that to declare a dividend, and after declaring dividend there is a sequence of events that has to happen, right? Once you declare the dividend, you have to pay the dividend, of course. So what happens when you don't pay the dividend? What happens to the amount that is unclaimed? Everything is covered in this section. So once you remember 123, it is going to be a sequence from there. See, when the I'll use the cursor to highlight the point, highlight the sections about which I'm talking so that you can follow me. So once you declare the dividend, you can see there are certain conditions that have to be that have to happen in the sequence, and you can also see that if I fail section 73 and 74, I cannot declare dividend. So let me explain. So firstly, I declare dividend. Okay, then I have to pay the dividend. So what happens to the money that is unclaimed? It goes into the unpaid dividend account. So what happens to the money that is in the unpaid dividend account for a long time? It has to go into the investor protection fund. So what is this section 126? Now we all know that in order to declare dividend, the register of members has to be closed first. So imagine a person gets the shares in the share market after the register of members is closed, but before the dividend is declared. That person is entitled to the dividend, but we don't. But the list is closed, and we are not going to give him dividend at this time. So what happens to his share? It goes into this 126. So after the register of members is opened, he can claim the amount. So, and then what happens when you declare the dividend and not pays it is covered in section 127. Now look at this 123.6. You shouldn't fail 73 and 74 to declare dividend. Now what is 73 and 74? Prohibition of acceptance of deposit from public and repayment of deposit. What does this mean? This means that if you have borrowed money from the public and you have defaulted on paying that, you should pay that first before declaring dividend. So that's what it means. So by just remembering the section 123, we have covered the whole payment of dividend section, and we also came to section 73 and section 74. So this is what I mean by remembering anchor points. A section that is so easy to remember, yet it is going to have so many connections at so many places that you are going to connect all the dots, and it is going to help you remember a lot of things. Now let me give you another example. Now you just have to remember the section number of bonus shares. So what is bonus shares? So it is a situation. See, I'm a person and everyone loves bonus shares. So I want bonus shares. What do I do? So the company has to give bonus shares. For that, it has to have money. So where is the money going to come from? So the money is going to come from an account called capital redemption reserve account. Why? Because the money in the capital redemption reserve account can be used to declare bonus shares. So okay, if that's the case, where is the money going to, how is the money going to come into that account? When the company buys back its securities, it has to push an equivalent amount of money that it spent on buyback to the capital redemption reserve account. This means whenever the company buy back shares, it has to send money here. So if okay, by remembering bonus shares, I know the bonus shares has to come from capital redemption reserve account, and it has to and the company has to buy back securities first in order to fill the money in here. Okay, what are the uh, things that we can remember by remembering this 169 alone? See, above 69 everything about the conditions of buyback, and below 69 it will be about why you shouldn't do buyback. See, 68 restrictions on giving on loan by companies to purchase its own shares. 66 reduction of share capital. So when you buy back securities, what happens? You take the shares in and you are going to cancel it, right? So it is going to reduce your share capital. So that is what the section 66 deals about. So by remembering the bonus shares alone, you are able to connect so many dots. You are able to go back and say this is the section, this is the section, and okay, now you got 3 to 4 sections in this chapter alone. Now everyone knows about prospectus, right? It is so simple. So here are three different prospectus that are listed, so that you can remember those numbers, and which will help you to remember the sections that is above and section below that. Okay, now let me give you another example. uh, okay, let's see. Here it is. Now 143, what is 143? 143 is a funny number. We might have used it in college or schools to show our affection for someone. So how am I going to use it here? I'm just going to remember that the auditors love their audit report. So, what does 143 talks about? It talks about powers and duties of auditors and auditing standards, which includes audit report. So, I'm going to remember auditors love their audit report. That way, I'm going to remember what is 143. What is 144? This is also a powerful section in IPC. If you remember, the police uses it to control crowd or some commotion. The section is applied to stop people from doing something. It's the same here. 144, auditors are not supposed to render certain services. This is an anchor point here. Now everyone knows what is the section number for corporate social responsibility, so that is out of the way, and every maximum people will know that financial statement is 129. Okay, so like this we will create conspicuous sections on almost all the chapters that we know, and then we'll proceed from there. See, okay. Do you know that one person company is almost exclusively talked only here, other than the definition part? This is the only section that talks about one-person company specifically. So you can remember that easily. 122, one-person company. Also, it comes before dividend. Dividend is 123, so you should be able to remember it easily. So okay, I this is something personal. I'm telling. Okay, how do I tell it? Mm, Section 96 is the birth date of someone really close to me, and it happens to be annual general meeting. So how do I remember that? 96 is the year that I met her, so it is annual general meeting, something like that. If you could create your own anchor points, it is a lot better, guys. You can remember it easily. It doesn't matter how silly it is. It all that is needed is it has to be rememberable easily. That is all, guys. That is all for this video. Thank you.